Well, welcome everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces and participants here, so it's great to see everyone again tonight. I'm very excited to host this webinar with Lewis University and Accelerate. And as always, I do like to welcome everybody and show you where Lewis University is located on the Accelerate platform. So as all of you are Accelerate agents, you all have access to the Accelerate platform, which I hope you bookmark to make easy access for it. So if you're interested in finding more about Lewis University, including all the entrance requirements, all the details you need to know about Lewis University, you can find them right here on the Accelerate platform. You can do like I did and just search for Lewis University, or you can go into course searches, search by country, and find them that way. So as you can see, Lewis University located in Romeoville, Illinois, in the United States. As you can see, some basic information here. It's number 3 in the best four-year colleges in Illinois. It's a great school, over 100 courses on the Accelerate platform here. So if I want to go ahead and click on Lewis University, then it's going to bring up their campus landing page. And this is where you are going to see a lot of great information about Lewis University and all for you all as regional managers and all of you as regional managers and agents. This is the important information you'll need. So you have an overview here with a great information with some videos for you to learn more about their institution, some marketing materials to get a little more in depth. For example, there's some STEM MBA new information here, some information specific for international students. And something that's really key for agents too is this training and FAQ tab. This is where you have a lot of great information that you as agents typically will ask, like such as what's the application fee? What's the turnaround, excuse me, what is the turnaround time for applications? What English tests are accepted? A lot of great information here is in the FAQ, if you look there. And one of the most important tabs here is the courses tab. And this is where you're going to find all about the different courses offered. So for example, this accounting Bachelor of Science has a tuition fees, the application fees, the language requirements. It has information about if its scholarships are available, if it's STEM eligible, if it has CPT eligibility. So I wanted to learn more, for example, about this accounting in the Bachelor of Science course. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I have it pulled up here. This has great information about the program, what type of scholarships are available, the minimum requirements, the admissions requirements for them, what documents are required for the application before submission. And right here is where you can go ahead and create an application directly for this course through the Accelerate platform. So I hope that you have bookmarked the Accelerate platform and use it. But with that being said, I want to introduce our guest today. We have Tyler King from Lewis University, who serves as Director of International Enrollment. And Tyler, I'm going to pass it off to you. You can share your screen and we can go ahead and get started.
Thanks so much, Jeremiah. And as he said, I just want to express my gratitude for everyone taking the time to be with us today. I hope that this presentation gives you a bit of an overview about Lewis University, and particularly why international students find us and what they enjoy about us. So I'm going to go through a quick presentation, which just gives some general information about Lewis University. But then most importantly, I want to make sure that we have time to answer any specific questions from you. So as I'm talking, if any questions do come up, please add them in the chat, and then I can address them when we get to the end. If you have some immediate pressing question and you want to interrupt, by all means, I'm happy to take questions as we're going here. So without further ado, as long as everyone can see my screen here, I'm going to go through a bit of an overview of Lewis University, located near Chicago. So there's a few themes that I'm going to be mentioning again and again throughout this presentation. So I'm going to mention them now, and I'm going to mention them again at the end, just to make sure that these kind of key takeaways are what you find most memorable from this presentation. And it's that Lewis University is an above average ranked university that has very large scholarships for our undergraduate programs, and very affordable tuition for our graduate level programs. So it is a very affordable university given our ranking. But the number two big thing that I want you to make sure that you remember through this presentation is our university's connection to local employers in the area who give our international students wonderful CPT and OPT employment opportunities. So I'm going to be touching on those two elements quite a bit through this presentation, our ranking and affordability, as well as the employment potential for a lot of our students. So starting off here, you're going to see simply where is Lewis University and why is studying in Chicago a good option. I'm sure that all of your agencies are referring students to the New England area around New York and the West Coast around California. That is where most of the international students are in the United States. They are beautiful parts of the country. There's nothing wrong with them. However, they are very expensive places to live. We have a lot of price-conscious students, and Chicago offers all the same benefits that the New York area or the California, the West Coast offers, but we are a much, much more affordable region of the United States. I've talked to some students who have transferred from the New York area to Chicago, and they've mentioned how the cost of living is nearly half of what they experienced in New York or around Los Angeles in California. So Chicago is a very affordable, has a very affordable cost of living. For those of you who haven't been to Chicago or are not familiar with the area, it is the third largest country in the United States. What that means for our students is that they're going to have access to global companies, Fortune 500 companies, and that Chicago is a very large technology and cyber hub. In North America, outside of Silicon Valley, it is the second largest concentration of tech companies in North America. So it does provide a lot of employment opportunities, particularly in STEM fields to our international students. Some brief history. Our university started as an aviation school. It still is an aviation school, and aviation makes up our largest and most popular programs. But since the 1930s, we have grown to offer over 100 different bachelor, master, associate, and PhD programs. Lewis University has about 6,500 students. About 700 of those are international students. Our international population is a nice makeup of students from all around the world. We have no one single large concentration. It's a pretty even distribution from all around the world. We are one of the top ranked private schools in the Midwest region. Lewis University's ranking fits into the Midwest. So if you look at the US News and World Report and you choose the Midwest region, Lewis University is within the top 25 of over 700 universities in the Midwest region. So why are students choosing Lewis University? This slide here is touching on the first point that I mentioned, is that we are a above average ranked school. Now, of course, we are not, ranked up against Harvard and Stanford, but we are, above average in terms of rankings. As I said before, we're in the top 20 of the Midwest region. That's from over 750 universities. As Jeremiah noted in the Accelerate platform, he listed how we were the top 3 in the state of Illinois. And the Times of London lists Lewis University in terms of global engagement in the top 77th percentile in global institutions. This leads to a lot of local employers who want to hire our students. And that's really our proudest piece that we want to emphasize to our international students is that yes, you're going to get a good education from us, but more so is that good education is going to lead to some great opportunities with local companies that see the value in our students. So our international students have a really easy time finding jobs in the local Chicago area because those companies understand the high quality of the education that we are offering. Lewis University is also part of a Lasallian network of schools. I won't talk too much about that. If you have questions, please let me know. If you are familiar with the Lasallian network, then you know what I'm talking about, but it might not be too important to some of the schools in your area. Our campus is a small campus. You could walk from one end to the other in about 10 to 15 minutes. It is a beautifully landscaped campus with flowers and gardens and fountains. It's a very quiet and peaceful place to study. I should mention that we are not in the city of Chicago. We are just on the outside, just to the outside of the city. It takes about 30 minutes to travel to the city by bus or train. So it does give students a nice opportunity to study at a quiet and safe campus, but then easily access the city that gives them all sorts of entertainment and shopping and sports and leisure and anything that they need just a short 30 to 40 minutes away. So while they are on our campus, we have a number of different dormitories where they can stay. We have 7 undergraduate dormitories and 5 different graduate level dorms. All the dormitories offer shared bathrooms, a shared kitchen, and a shared lounge. And then the rooms are always private. They're the more traditional dormitory rooms, private rooms for the students with shared amenities amongst the building. Excuse me. Besides the dormitories, our university has a gym, indoor soccer field, recreation center, swimming pool, arcade games, billiard tables, and more. We've got 4 different cafeterias, a cafe, a coffee shop, library, computer labs, a theater, and we even have our own airport on campus. This dates back to our founding in the 1930s as an aviation school. So the airport still exists. It is still heavily used by students who are learning to be pilots. And it is a very unique feature, especially for students that are interested in aviation, that they can simply walk from their dormitory right over to the airport and start their flight training. If you have ever sent your students to aviation programs in the United States before, you'll know that a lot of the aviation programs in the United States rely on public airports. And those students are dependent on local transportation options and scheduling their flight time at the public airports. It becomes a little complicated for the international students. At Lewis University, everything that those aviation students need is located right on campus. So at the undergraduate level, I want to just highlight some of our more popular programs amongst international students. We do have 80 different programs of study, but these are the most common programs right here. Aviation being the biggest one at the undergraduate level. There's students studying to become pilots. There's students studying in our aerospace technology program, as well as some business programs, business administration, finance, accounting. These are common programs that you're going to find at any institution, so I'm not going to talk too much about them. You know what computer science and business administration are. They're all over the United States. But again, the benefit for students choosing Lewis University is that these programs are tied directly to wonderful employment opportunities at companies that we've already set up partnerships with. So students don't need to be out searching for jobs on their own. We already have the corporate employers lined up who are looking to hire our students. And the biggest and easiest one is obviously within our aviation program, given our history as an aviation school. But again, being near Chicago as a major city in the United States and a major technology hub, is that students studying studying in any of these STEM fields are easily able to pick up CPT and OPT jobs with some of the local partner companies. In terms of the application, I'm not going to talk too much about this either, because again, you can find all of the relevant information on the Accelerate platform that Jeremiah had previewed for you in the beginning. But I will emphasize down here at the bottom that we have very generous scholarships that can reduce the cost of undergraduate study by nearly 40%, by over 40%. So again, like I mentioned in the beginning, we have a regionally ranked school that is able to discount our tuition by almost 40%. So an undergraduate student would be paying tuition of typically between 20 and 25,000 US dollars per semester in tuition costs. So in comparison to other similar schools in the United States, that is a very affordable, a very competitive tuition rate given our scholarship opportunities. The next couple of slides are going to talk about some of our graduate programs. Our graduate programs, our largest one is a Master's of Science in Aviation and Transportation. There is nearly a 100% employment rate for this degree. This is because of the partnerships that we already have set up between companies like Amazon, FedEx, and United Airlines that are based in Chicago and that are interested in hiring our graduate level students who complete this program. The second most common choice for international students is our data science program. It is a STEM degree. It is one of the fastest growing jobs in the United States to become a data scientist. And we have specialties within computer science and bioinformatics within that data science program. Computer science is another very common degree in the United States, so I'm not going to talk too much about that one because I assume you are already familiar what the computer science degree is. Same with the MBA, the MS Finance, and the business analytics. These are all very common degrees in the United States. Two things that make these a little unique at Lewis University, as I mentioned before, and I'm going to mention again and again and again, is that there are fantastic job opportunities for CPT and OPT for students that are studying these College of Business programs. But two is that all three of these are in fact STEM degrees. It's mentioned here at the bottom for business analytics, but as of this year, all three of these programs are STEM degrees, and STEM programs are eligible for longer employment opportunities in the United States. Typically, degrees allow for 1 year of OPT, whereas these business programs will allow for up to 3 years of OPT employment after a student graduates the program. Again, in terms of the application, you should apply to Lewis through the Accelerate program by Educo. We will need a transcript evaluation of a student's bachelor degree from a company such as WES or ECE. Those are some of the larger ones. But a GRE and a GMAT is not required. One of the final things that I'll talk about in terms of our graduate degrees is that they are a very affordable graduate degree program in the United States. Again, for a ranked university, we are offering 2-year graduate programs for a total cost of about $30,000 to $33,000 US dollars, or about $15,000 a year in tuition. This is far below average in terms of a ranked university's graduate level tuition. So if you have graduate level students that are interested in a ranked university with a very affordable tuition, then Lewis University is absolutely a great choice for them. We do offer our graduate degrees, our graduate students, jobs on campus. These are called assistantships, a research assistant, a teaching assistant, or a graduate assistant, where a student will work directly with a professor or faculty on campus. They get a tuition discount and a small salary. Now, of course, not every graduate student is going to have an assistantship job, but there are a lot available to students each year. Now, for the conclusion, I'm going to talk a little bit about CPT and OPT that I have mentioned quite often in this presentation. I apologize. I did assume everyone was familiar with CPT and OPT, but if not, please ask any questions about what this is or how this works in the chat. I would be happy to talk more about it. It is one of the major selling points for Lewis University is CPT and OPT employment opportunities. For graduate students particularly, CPT is available from their very first day of class. They do not need to wait the 1 year that most university undergraduate students would need. Our graduate level students are able to start CPT employment as soon as they're offered that job. So they're able to start employment almost immediately. And they are eligible to work part-time CPT for the entire duration of their graduate program. Excuse me. OPT is available after the student completes their degree, and they're eligible to work full-time from 1 to 3 years in the United States. I should emphasize that all of our graduate programs are STEM degrees, and all of them are eligible for the 3-year OPT extension. The Masters of Aviation, the Data Science, Computer Science, MBA, MS Finance, MS Business Analytics, they are all STEM degrees, and they are all eligible for up to 3 years of employment, of OPT employment after that student graduates. How do we set this up? How are we able to ensure that so many of our international students are getting jobs after while they're studying or after they graduate? And that is, as I mentioned before, we simply offer a high quality education. So our local employers know that our students are competent and well trained in the skills that they're looking for. But 2, we host very large job fairs on campus 2 times each year. Where these local employers will come to campus, they will interview students, and they will make job offers right there on campus. So it's kind of like a student fair that you may have attended in your home country, where universities set up tables and students go around talking to the different universities. It's the same thing for us, but with employers. Employers will set up tables, and the students will go around talking to different employers and interviewing with different employers, and they're able to find job opportunities right there during one of the fairs. We also have job search and placement assistance available to all of our students. These this extra support will allow students to find to search for jobs. Will help. We offer them interview practice, and we'll kind of give them everything they need so they can approach their first interview or submit their applications confidently and successfully. So we really offer a lot of support to help students find these jobs. That is the conclusion of my presentation about Lewis University. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I want to make sure that you are remembering those 2 main selling points about the university, is that we are a higher ranked institution within our region, and that for a ranked school, we are offering very large undergraduate scholarships or very affordable graduate level tuition, as well as the numerous CPT and OPT job opportunities that are available to our international students because of the partnerships that we have set up throughout the Chicagoland area. I am happy to answer any questions. Let me go back to Zoom here and make sure I didn't miss anything.
Now, the questions, thank you so much, Tyler. The questions will probably start rolling in here shortly. So thank you again. That was wonderful. And if if all of you don't really know, Chicago is such a great area. I mean, I'm from that, like from near there, and just it is so much more affordable than other areas of the United States, and it has everything that New York or Los Angeles or other big cities has. It's just incredible. So we see the first question here, Tyler. So the question was about, have you offered information about the scholarship requirements?
Yeah, that is a wonderful question. You did not miss it because I didn't talk about it. And I didn't talk about it because we automatically apply scholarships to all of the undergraduate students. So I essentially didn't mention requirements because it's going to be automatically given when the undergraduate students submit their completed application through Accelerate. So there's no additional steps. There's no additional exams. We're not asking for anything extra. We are automatically applying that scholarship, that 40% scholarship to all of the international graduate students. The difference there between 11 and 15 is more so based on the student's background. Depending on the school they came from, the GPA that they have, I will say that I want to say upwards of 90% of our undergraduate students receive the full 15,000. It's very rare that that international students receive anything less than 15,000. So I don't want to spend too much time going through the qualifications of if or when or why, because I can tell you now, and you can quote me or you can replay this recording for me later, but nearly all of your students are going to be eligible for the full 15,000 scholarship. So as long as they are submitting their application and sending all of the required documents, they're eligible for the scholarship, and it's offered within their admission letter. So it's the first thing that we communicate to them along with their admission.
Excellent. That's great. That makes it so easy for students too to know that's coming in. We do see a message from Carla. I think she joined just a little bit late. Could you talk about what Lewis is known for? I think you have your specialty program there. So
yeah, Carla, thank you. Lewis University is absolutely known for our aviation programs. I talked a lot about our aviation flight program, but for our international students, the most popular aviation related program is called Aerospace Technology. It's more of an engineering degree. It's a mix of, let's call it like mechanical engineering and physics, where students are learning how jet engines work and how to repair different components of airplanes. What makes that so popular among international students is that it comes with an FAA certification that allows those students to work at any international airport around the world. And it's a pretty good high-paying job. So beyond aviation, I would say that our other programs that we're known for is all of our STEM degrees that I talked so much about. And those STEM degrees are so popular because of the OPT, because of the 3-year duration of OPT employment that those students are eligible for after they graduate. So that's programs in computer engineering, electrical engineering, data science, computer science, business analytics, things like that, as well as all of our graduate programs, including the MBA, are all considered STEM degrees. So I would say that's certainly what we're known for. And then I mentioned that the GMAT, GRE, are there any minimum score requirements? There are no minimum score requirements. We have waived the, because of the pandemic and the complications of standardized testings caused by the pandemic, we have waived all of our standardized test scores. So at the undergraduate level, there is no SAT or ACT. At the graduate level, there's no GMAT or GRE required. So you can submit completed applications and you do not need to send GMAT or GRE scores. The pandemic really made the international application process difficult for a lot of students who relied on those those exam companies, and a lot of those companies closed down, or they're not offering these exams. So we didn't feel like it wasn't fair to students to require them to travel and get these exams when they weren't available in their countries anymore. So we've suspended the requirement for any exams like that. That's a good question.
Excellent. Any other questions? These have been great. We'll give it a minute more.
Sure. Yeah, happy.
Yeah, Tyler, this has been a really great. I'm really interested. I wish I had known about the aviation program. I was really interested in that a lot. Like back when I was in high school, I took aviation. So that would have been really a great school for me to find out. Had I known about it, my path might have been a little bit different.
Sure.
Here's another one. So the SAT GMAT was waived because of COVID, but you still required before. Is this exemption for fall 2022 as well?
Yeah, yes. The exemption is going to continue indefinitely. I don't see the university changing this at all in the future. I think this is kind of the new norm amongst schools, to not bring these tests back. So it's not going to be required in the future. No.
Great question, though. Thank you, Sarah. We have another good one here. So once the students get a bachelor in aviation, they can get a pilot's license. Can they choose to get this license first, like a certificate program? Great,
Yeah,
interesting
wonderful.
questions.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that you asked, because that's a very good question. For students that are particularly interested in aviation to become a pilot, the short answer to your question is yes, they are getting a pilot's license. They are getting a pilot's license and a bachelor's degree in aviation. So students can get a pilot's license on their own. They don't need to attend a university to become a pilot. But why do they? They do this because of the way the major airlines hire full-time pilots. Is that really, like any job, the more qualified you are, the better chance you have of being hired. And for pilots, it will fast track their promotions, having that bachelor's degree. So not only having the bachelor's degree and the pilot's license is going to help them find a job, but it's going to help them get promoted within that company, within that airline company, a little faster. So to answer your question a little more specifically, is that the student is going to obtain a 4-year bachelor's degree in aviation. They're going to obtain a private pilot's license, a commercial pilot's license, a more technical instrument rating, and a multi-engine rating. But then they're also going to obtain a flight instructor license. And in their final year of the bachelor's degree, the university hires them and they become a flight instructor for the new first-year students. So by the students' 4th year of the program, they have a job, they are working on campus, they're working at our airport, they're getting paid to help train the new first-year students. This is a benefit not only to the students, because of course they're making a little money, but 2, it helps the student to accumulate more flight hours. And that's something that airlines are particularly looking for. So these are our graduates can say, I have a bachelor's degree, I have all these different licenses and ratings, and I have a few hundred hours of accumulated flight time beyond my initial licenses. So this all really comes together to give them a big advantage in terms of becoming a pilot and getting hired by one of the major airlines. The second part of your question, can they choose to get a license first? Yes, they can. You can. A lot of students obtain pilot's license in their home country, and then they join the program later on in the United States.
Interesting question by Sarah about the physical requirements for students.
There are. That's a fantastic question. It sounds like you might be a little familiar with some of the aviation industry in the United States. Yes, there are physical requirements. There are additional language requirements, but it is all something that takes place here in the United States. And it is not something that would disqualify a student from becoming a pilot. If anything, it would just delay their flight training. So for example, we have students who come, they meet the language requirements to enter the program, but then when they take the FAA aviation English exam, they score a little lower on it. We just delay their start of flight training one semester as they improve that language just a little bit. Same thing for some of the physical requirements. It's more of it's not physical, it's health related. They're checking, a student's heart and that they don't have like seizures or any medical conditions where they would become a danger as a pilot. So it's nothing physical, it's more just a general health check. So to answer your question, it's more of language and health than it is physical, and nothing quite smaller. Height is absolutely not a requirement. Great question. I appreciate
That's a good
it.
question.
Yes, yes, we do. We offer a wide range of ESL classes. However, they are part of they're part of the bachelor degree program. So we do not admit a student into ESL courses. Students can only apply for a bachelor's degree or graduate degrees. They cannot apply for ESL programs. But we do offer the language support for our students that come to campus and find that they do need additional language support. It's free. They are great classes. They are often full of students because it is a free service, and a lot of the international students, they like the ability just to talk casually, to meet new friends. It's a very unofficial way to just practice your English with the assistance of a certified ESL instructor. But it's not a standalone ESL course that students can apply to separately. Thank you.
Any last questions? These are wonderful questions, and thank you, Tyler. Really great explaining all these, and especially some of the unique programs for Lewis University and aviation. It's really cool. So, yes, you will get this presentation later. So, Sarah, to answer your question, I will be this is being recorded. I will be sending a summary of this as well as the recording out to all of the regional managers, who will then send it out to all of you. So I will be sending it out. It's late in the evening in the United States, so probably not tonight, but probably tomorrow morning, my time. So look forward to the next day or two from your regional managers. You will get this presentation. Well, if there's no further questions, I just want to say thank you all for being here this morning for you. This is Tyler. Thank you for being here late in the evening. It's like 9 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock in the evening for you. So thank you everyone for your time today. I think it was really great. I learned a lot about you, Lewis University. And yeah, look forward to the recording and the summary coming out to you soon.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you taking the time to be here today.